We have these mass murderers living and profiting among us without calling them out for who they really are. The oligarchs of the oil and gas are the only ones that feel themselves above the natural law, the fools. Judy Ponca Abdi, Mashte Ponca, Oklahoma. My colonized name is Casey Camp-Horinek. Judy is my true name. I'm a Ponca. I live in the occupied territory of Oklahoma. As for who I am is the summation of the ancestors that came before me and the gifted companion, mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother of the 7 generations to come. A caretaker of Mother Earth, a sun dancer, a daughter, a sister, an auntie. Over here is an area that my family has been part of since the 1880s. My grandpa and his folks and many others walked the 700 miles down here, not by choice. 1 in 3 of us died. This is where the blood of my people are. As far as where we live here in this particular territory, after forest removal, there was a series of events that was set in place by the federal government of the United States that allowed for what they call environmental stressors to happen. This whole area was 100% Ponca at one time. When the fracking started, the fumes in the area around here were so bad that it was making people have headaches and be very sick. That's an injection site right there. Another injection well site. Another injection well site right there. So right now we've seen 3 within a quarter of a mile. Every one of these tank batteries that you see, and there's hundreds of them, leak approximately 3% per month. Tens of thousands of gallons of either crude or refined oil or gas that goes directly into the groundwater. Even though the smallpox blankets are not being handed out to directly kill us, we're still being killed by environmental genocide, by this extractive industry, poisoning of the waters, the air, and the earth, and consequently the poisoning of our people. So a train bomb, they're full of crude oil, refined oil, natural gas, chemical warfare gas, and fracking fluids. And so every car could wipe a small city off the map. We're in that position that unless something changes, that's us. The colonized mind thought is all about owning aggression and lack of caring for one another and for the earth at large. Underneath this is spider webs of pipelines. This imaginary thing called money, what are you going to do with that? When your spirit leaves this world, what do you leave behind? This is continental carbon black. See how black those poor trees are? If you get out and you touch the black, you can't get it off your hands, even with solvents. Instead of seeing the tree for itself, for the value of what the Creator put that tree here for us to kill it is suicidal. They'll stay airborne for 3 days. That's how fine the particulates are. So they enter into the mouth, the nose, the ears, the eyes, the pores, and then cause cardiovascular disease and cancers. We've had babies born with bone cancers and brain cancers here. The doctors in our clinic have told me that when people come in, their cancers are already so far advanced that there's nothing that they can do, and it's in multiple sites because of places like this. This is the landfill. All of the methane gas, it all spills into the air. And on the other side of this is the place we have our last sacred ceremonies for our loved ones. Although we bother the city all the time to pick up their trash, it blows over those fences and blows into our cemetery, and we have regular trips up here to clean it. And the fact that they put it there, you know. The whole history of humankind and Earth herself is a history of moments of choices. We have arrived at a moment of choice now, whether to continue as a species. We're having our annual encampment. Our kids were all swimming down here, you know, hundreds and hundreds of us. There was one of the largest fish kills from fracking fluid. Where our babies were swimming, there was dead fish coming up, belly up, all the way along here. And down there where those sandbars are, there were deer carcasses where the poor deer would be coming to get a drink of water, you know, and not even make it back to bank before they lost their lives. They failed to notify us who live here, us whose babies are swimming here, us who are fishing here, us who are camping here. They did not notify us this was going on. Has transitioned into that next world, you know. Each and every one of us have a joy in our life, a joy in our heart because of this woman called Joy Braun. Thank you, my daughter. I love you eternally. There's been a period of time that women have not assumed their own power, that they have followed the colonized religion that lessens women's role and relegates them to objects, to be bought and sold, to be raped and murdered, to be lesser than. Women's roles are rising in this land defending, water protecting. And I think it's such a natural thing for us to listen to the Mother Earth, just as we listen to our children. If the earth is crying, if she is hurt, then of course we should listen. Within the core of all human, is the reality that you are made of earth. You're made of water. You know, water has a memory. And she doesn't forget anything. She tells us with her memory that we also have to remember. Remember how to be grateful and how to listen. The natural laws will happen. Man laws don't have any relationship to the moon mother moving the rhythms of life. We do. We do. By honoring those things that give life to you, then you acknowledge that same responsibility that you're supposed to share with your children and grandchildren. And that's an understanding that all Indigenous women have that I know. We have to be ready to help continue life. If we talk about recognizing the rights of nature, in truth and reality, we're only saying that we're recognizing ourselves as nature, not separate from. This particular moment in history becomes one of the joy of life, how we're moving through this time of extreme extraction and extreme greed to getting rid of the genocide, the ecocide, the killing of all things for the aggrandizement and greed of a few. All of those things have to happen. right now. This is not a moment to equivocate and wonder, how shall we go forward? It's a time of rejoicing because now we see it. Now we see the end game. Now we relegate those again that have relegated us and say, your time is past. You've done all the harm that we're going to allow. You are the mass murderers that are going to go down in history. What will be our legacy? Oh, I know mine. I know what my family's going to say. I know what my children and grandchildren are going to say. They're going to say, Grandma was there, Mama was there. She loved us. She made a way for us. Now the water's clean. Now the air is breathable. Now we have good food to eat. And there's love between all things that is recognized, protected, and ready for us to set the way for the next generations.